When you run a blog or have a website, you might want to add an audio player to your pages so that people can listen to your posts or articles instead of just reading them. And why? For the same reason that some people prefer listening to audiobooks to reading a book. Making your content more accessible is always a great idea to reach a wider audience. So this is how to set up an automatic text-to-speech audio player to your blog or any website you want. Wait, what? Did I just say automatic? Yes, I did. It just takes a few clicks and within a few minutes everyone can listen to your valuable content instead of just reading it. Welcome to episode 5 of System.io Snaps, the short and snappy tutorial series for all System.io users, both beginners and advanced. And because I value transparency myself, I want to tell you right now at the beginning that what I'm about to show you does require a paid tool. It is not free. I just want to mention this now and not hit you with it out of the blue halfway through the video. So now that you know, let's go. There are two ways you can do this, but I'll show you the one that is probably most commonly used. So let's say you run your blog or your websites on System.io because, well, that's what this video is about and because I'm an avid System.io user. But of course, this works with any other website builder or blogging tool as well, so keep watching anyway. For this tutorial, I created a short blog post from the content of an actual blog post that's published on my website. That post is much longer, but to keep it short, we're just using a few sentences in this video. It also doesn't matter because the process is always the same, whether you want to add the audio player to a page with only 2 paragraphs or a page with 5,000 words. Now, because I only want to add the audio player to one single blog post, I just need the URL of that page. So here in the blogs menu of my System.io account, in my blog, I click on the settings of the post that I want. We'll get back to this in a second because you could basically also just allow your entire domain and then add the audio player to any page you want. So now that I copied the URL of the page I want to add the player to, we need to head over to the tool that makes this all possible, ElevenLabs. If you haven't heard of ElevenLabs yet, it's one of the best AI text-to-speech platforms out there. And it's also very easy to use. I'll leave a link to ElevenLabs below, so check it out. I definitely recommend it, not only for the feature that we're going to use in this video. Once you've created your account and subscribed to the creator plan here, which by the way you can now get for 50% off the first month, you have access to the projects feature. This is what makes the auto text-to-speech player on our pages possible. So let's jump into my account and get this up and running in a few clicks inside the projects menu here. Then click here on Audio Native and enable it. Now we get into the setup process, which is super quick and easy. Let's start here where it says My Websites. Here we need to add our URLs that are allowed to have the audio player embedded. As I mentioned earlier, I'm showing you this with just one single blog post. If you run your blog under your domain, for example xyz.com/blog, you could add that URL here and then you could simply add the player to any or all of your blog posts that start with that URL path. So let's add the link to my blog post and click Add. Next, head over to Audio Player Settings where we can customize the player that will be shown. For now, we leave most of these settings on default. Feel free to change them at any time. When you hover over these info icons here, you get a good explanation of what each setting is. Now it's time to choose the voice for our player. There is a very long list of amazing sounding voices that you can use. By the way, that's something I haven't mentioned yet. At the time of recording, you can create text-to-speech in 29 languages with ElevenLabs. You're not just limited to English. Oh, and if you want to use your own voice to read out loud all your content on your blog, no problem either. Just instantly clone your voice and then use it like any other of the hundreds of voices that are already available. Another example, if you're a content creator, you could use your own voice clone to create the audio for your videos or your online course or any other project. Or if you are a developer that needs text-to-speech somewhere in a project, use the ElevenLabs API to generate what you need. It's definitely one of the best tools I've ever used and I don't mind paying for it because of the amount of time I can save with it and what it enables me to do. So click the link below to get your ElevenLabs account. Okay, let's just select any of the voices here. Let's go with Daniel here. British, deep voice, news presenter style. Sounds good. Now we can add a title, an author and an image to our player if we want. Let me just change the title and author here. Finally, you can change the colors of the player so that it matches your brand colors. Don't forget to click Save. For the final step, let's scroll back to the top and go back to the first tab here, General. What we need to do now is to copy this code snippet here and add it to our page on system.io. And then we're done. So copy the code and head back over to system.io. Let's say I want my player to be shown at the top here above the written version of my post. Scroll down on the left and drag the raw HTML element onto your page where you want your player to appear. Then click on the element and then on Edit Code up here. Finally, paste the code we copied from ElevenLabs and click Save. Now you can see that page content is already automatically being converted to an ElevenLabs project and the audio is being generated. If you don't want this to happen automatically, there's a setting that I left enabled, but you can change it if you want. So while this conversion runs in the background, just save the page up here and then let's visit the live version of it. You'll see that the conversion takes a moment, but once it's done, this is what we get. Our player is here and now we can listen to Daniel, the voice we selected, reading our blog post.
Test post. Sascha Meier. What does all this have to do with marketing, you might ask? Well, everything. Anything that persuades you is story-based. Create and tell a persuasive narrative that focuses on the thoughts, fears, and aspirations of your audience. And if you do that, you have the power to change the way somebody sees the world.
Sounds pretty great, right? One thing I noticed with the automatic conversion is that it also included this text from down here on my website.
Join our email list and get the best content and updates right to your inbox so you can succeed smarter. It's always free and optional.
I don't want that to be read out loud, so what I can do now is to go back into ElevenLabs and open the project that was auto-generated. Here I just delete the part that I don't want. And just for fun, let's say I want to use different voices for different parts of the text. No problem, let me assign this one here to the first few sentences. Serena, American, pleasant voice, interactive style. So because I changed the voice, I need to convert the project again, and you can see that it only needs to regenerate the modified parts. Once the conversion is finished, click on versions to see all the existing versions of this project. The one here at the top is the latest one, so all we need to do is click publish so that this new version becomes the one that's live on our page. When we go back to our page, you see that the audio is now 8 seconds shorter because of the text that we removed at the end. And when we listen to it, there's now the 2 voices that we assigned.
Test post. Sascha Meier.
What does all this have to do with marketing, you might ask? Well, everything. Anything that persuades you is story-based.
Amazing, right? Okay, one more thing. If you're using this feature, you also can see a bunch of analytics. Click here on metrics and then you get all kinds of data such as engagement, listens, how many unique listeners, the playback time. You can see a heat map so you know what's the most listened parts are. You get a retention graph and you can view the devices on which your audio was listened to. Pretty neat stuff here. By the way, at the beginning I mentioned that this is one of the 2 ways to do all this. The second one would be that you just write all the content in an ElevenLabs project first and then use the share button here to get the code for the audio player. It's basically just the other way around from what I've just explained. ElevenLabs is an amazing tool that you can use to add this quick and easy to set up audio player to your pages, whether they are on system.io like mine, or on WordPress or anywhere else. Another great and important thing that you should use in your business is a meeting or call scheduling option. If you want to learn how you can embed a free scheduling tool in any of your system.io pages, watch this video next.